Last week we actually talked about last week, last podcast. We actually talked about like friendship, and we were just kind of thinking about like what makes a friend, what
Yeah.
this, and we were going. I don't really fucking know what defines anything. So I did a little, just a minuscule amount of research, just to kind of see if there was something
Can you show
already
the
out there.
audience your notes? By minuscule.
Yeah, it's like a page,
Yeah. Just click page, 2
and
pages,
then the back of the
and
page.
half.
No, this isn't
Oh,
really.
okay. Just a full page front
Yeah,
and back.
it wasn't much at all. Like when you hear it, you'll go, oh, it's just a
crazy.
little
You know
something.
what this reminds me of?
What?
When you used to do sponsorship.
Oh, really? And today's sponsor, what makes a friend?
Go to getafriend.com.
Get a friend. What kind of friend is that? Jeez. So I was, going through the web. I saw some videos, and one of this first kind of little bit, I actually picked up. I think it was a TED talk, and this chick was just like, her name was Shasta Nelson. I don't
There's
know
a
who
TED
she
talk
is.
on this subject?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was just saying pretty much that friendship was based on kind of like triangle, and it
Okay.
was of 3 things. And the first one is positivity, second, consistency, and vulnerability. And so positivity would just kind of be like exactly what it sounds. You're not going to hate your life around this person. Generally, overall, you get good feelings, positive vibes from this individual. She was saying about like a 5-to-1 ratio positive things. So for every negative thing that you throw out there, generally you'll have 5 positive things, and you'll see that person as like a-okay, like you're my friend type deal.
Okay, so if it was like the opposite, if it was like they were just like, wait, so it's one bad thing and then 5 good things.
Yeah.
So what would make a bad
So I
person?
said, so you're a piece of shit.
Okay.
But maybe not that serious, but maybe I slightly offend you or something, and you kind of like you feel attacked.
Okay.
This is what my understanding is, not what she was saying. But
Still having a hard time understanding.
so the positive things would be like, hey, you joke, you laughed, you were talking about a good subject, you threw on a nice song. Like generally, what's going to happen is there are more positive things outweighing the negative things.
Okay.
At a general 5-to-1 ratio.
Oh, okay. But if it was like a 2 to 4,
2 to
then it'd be like, eh.
I mean, I guess I don't know how to
Is that
quantify
kinda-
it. Yeah, but I don't know how to quantify this.
Okay.
Maybe it's just kind
Flip
of a
it to 3
figure.
to 3.
Yeah, 3. Keep it even.
But evenly.
Yeah, so generally more positive things. And so consistency is like time together. That's what trust would be. Like you spend a lot of time together, so you're at, maybe you see them all the time at work. Maybe you see them all the time at school. Maybe, you go to the bar every Saturday night. Maybe, consistently. That consistency, you spending time with the individual, just you
Okay.
being there with the person. And then vulnerability is like sharing history, dreams, your struggles. It's the feeling of being known by that other individual. So you know how you could be like in a room and you still feel alone.
Yeah.
Those people aren't
Yeah.
your friends. So with a friend, you feel known. You feel accepted, recognized. You're not ignored. Just
Okay.
being there. So you feel known. And I kind of I pulled a quote from, or I didn't. I forget where I found it. Might have been the same video, but it was by Robin Williams. It said, I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel alone. So I think that really speaks to the vulnerability part, the feeling of being known as not feeling alone. So she kind of proposed a triangle in this. The base of the triangle, the foundation of the relationship is positivity. So generally, you're going to have a more positive experience, positive vibe, positive feeling, just positivity from this individual, and you'll connect with them on a positive note. Like you'll laugh together, you'll giggle, you'll have a connection. You'll be like, oh, I like that person,
Okay.
So generally that. And on the other two sides are consistency and vulnerability. And as you increase those, of course, you fill in more of the triangle, right? And, the aim is to fill in the triangle all the way. So you have a lot of consistency, a lot of vulnerability, a lot of positivity. You guys are friends. You're locked in. You're good friends.
Uh-huh.
So I was listening to that and I was like, I wonder if the triangle can be turned. Like sometimes people I make friends with, consistency is the first thing. I see them at work all the time.
In the TED talk, did she say that it was the foundation?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Really?
Or at least that's what it's the base. The first thing that needs to happen.
Okay.
Is if I heard that
like
correctly.
The initial thing?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I understood that she said. I could be wrong.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because.
But like I was kind of looked at it weird that way because I'm like, well, what if you rotated this triangle a little bit, because consistency, what if that was the base? Like you see this person at work and not all your coworkers you just like.
Then it like becomes a positive thing type of?
It would become a positive thing. Maybe all you hear is them complain and you're like, fuck. But maybe you have a conversation with them one time and it turns out, they're actually really cool. They make you laugh. They complain because, work sucks and they just suck at holding in their complaint. I don't know how to say that. Holding in, complaints. That's the word.
Okay.
So, and so from then on, you see each other and you have positivity going back and forth. Like, hey, good to see you. You look good today. How you doing? They crack a joke, make you laugh. So then you could up positivity, and then vulnerability. You could tell each other stories about yourself, and you become better friends. So I feel like that's something. I feel like this triangle can be rotated. Like if the base was vulnerability, maybe you were just happened to be with somebody at some point.
Like you're vulnerable that one time, and then created a connection.
Park bench with a stranger. You're not going to be at that park bench again, so there's not consistency. But you're talking to the stranger, you open up vulnerability, right? And maybe they're kind of salty in the beginning. Like they're like, meh, whatever. And then you build positivity, kind of that connection through your stories. And then consistency, maybe you see each other again and you continue the same thing. But I guess the positivity does work because if you share, your story and people just hit on it all the time, the likelihood of you continuing to share your story or wanting to consistently be around them is like 0. So maybe that's why it's up. So I thought that was a good, kind of understanding thing. But I also heard that, a philosopher, like a well-known one, actually went into detail about friendships. And I believe it was Aristotle, if I wrote that down right. Like that big name, right? I don't read a whole bunch of philosophy. I probably should. But apparently he would talk about friendship all the time. And I wanted to read another quote by him, I think. But he said, in poverty as well as in other misfortunes, people suppose that friends are their only refuge. And friendship is a help to the young in saving them from error, just as it is also to the old, with a view to care. With a view to the care they require and in their diminished capacity for action, stemming from their weakness. It is a help also to those in their prime in performing noble actions, for two going together are better able to think and act. I thought that was cool. Two going together are better to think and act. And he kind of had 3 levels of friendship that, from what I understood, read, saw a couple videos. And the first one was friendships of utility. So this is kind of your baseline thing. You see it most, I guess, in business, I would say. That's a good example. Like, you guys aren't really close, but you benefit each other mutually. So that's the basis of the friendship, is a benefit. I do this thing for you, you do this thing for me, we're friends, and the friendship ends when the benefit ends. So I think of business first when I hear that. Do you think of anything else with that?
Probably business would be my first thing too.
Yeah. And, I, yeah, it says shared common goal. And then when the common goal is gone, then you disband. So maybe you got a group of guys together trying to finish a project. When the project's done, you guys
Yeah.
might not see each other again, but you're friends for that time. And this isn't a bad thing, friendship of utility. You still enjoy that. It sounds like a negative thing or like a superficial thing. It is kind of superficial, but not in a negative sense. Just it is what it is. It can be negative. Maybe you're not friends, but it just is. And so that's kind of the lowest level. The second level, or the next higher up, is friendships based on pleasure. And pleasure not meaning like sexual or anything. Pleasure as meant in enjoyment. So this is like what most people think of as kind of their general group of friends. Like, and we hang out, we have a good time, or I like to go party with these guys. I play music with these guys, or these guys share my interest and I really have a good time with them. And so those are kind of like those sort of friendships. Like you are in it together, you like the same things, shared experience, like teammates, stuff like that. Yeah, maybe the people you play games with, travel with, so that sort of thing.
Okay.
So I mean, I bet you could think of so many people where it's like you're not friends of utility, but I mean, you may not have a deeper friendship, but you have
guys
a
are
shared
friends of pleasure.
That
I
sounds so
pleasure
weird.
off of you.
It's like you, sir, pleasure me. Okay, and then the last and I guess highest form of friendship that Aristotle was talking about, at least from what I found, was friendship of excellence. And this is kind of like the friendship you would think of as in deeper friendships. So it's pretty much based on the appreciation of that person, of who they are as a person. So not necessarily like other things, like themselves. You like them as a person. And so that's kind of what it's based on.
Excellence. You
Of
just like
excellence.
them as a person.
You like them for them, and you end up going through, mutual hardship, mutual growth. Like you grow together. Yeah, you like the qualities of that person and their actions. These are the friendships that last a lifetime. The ones that you could disappear for a year or two, come back, and it's not hostile words. You grow together, and even if things are kind of rough at times, you bounce back. And so I guess he was talking about how these friendships were kind of key. They were the ones you wanted, even more so than romantic relationships. Being in a group of friends, having deep connections with your friends, completely important. And another quote, I might read a couple more, but this one I found really good, especially for dudes. Like, no one would choose to possess all good things on condition of being alone. Since man is a political creature and one whose nature is to live with others, therefore even the happy man lives with others, and plainly it is better to spend his days with good friends and good men than with strangers or any chance person. Therefore, the happy man needs friends. And that's something, especially now in society, a lot of people are more alone. And you could see the damage it is on their person and on their personality. And, friends are important and deep connections are important. And yeah.
That's kind of nice going over all this because now I'm just thinking about all my friends that I've had before, have now, and the type of friendship, the whole it was utility, something excellence. What was the
Yeah, utility,
pleasure?
pleasure, and then
Yeah,
excellence.
Um, that's just really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I can definitely put people different categories.
Mhm.
Those three. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, and suddenly things seem a little clear as
I'm
far
just
as
like, man, my
friendships.
high school friends, they're just utility.
Utility, or they could be of pleasure, man. Oh no, just they're all
I
utility.
feel bad. I feel bad saying it, but most of them.
Most of them. And here's the thing: utility is not a bad thing. It's
Feels fun.
you both are benefiting from it. You're still friends. It's not like, oh, I'm using you type
They
thing.
were
It's-
definitely fun people to be
Yeah.
around, but they helped me get through high school. So
exactly. And then high school is over.
Yep.
And those friendships are generally over.
Yep.
So, and it's not a bad thing.
yeah, then I have a bunch of friends in the pleasure column.
It sounds so weird. Well, oh God, don't.
And I have, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like currently I only have really one person in the whole excellence.
Yeah. Damn.
That's literally the person I'm dating right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you?
That's true. But no, that's why I thought it was so interesting the way it was categorized, because I'm just like, wow, it's not like, she's not in the pleasure category.
Yeah, and it doesn't say anything about. From what I saw, maybe he goes deeper into the connection with like romantic things. I'm not sure if
But this
friendship
is more
was
just
also,
like friendship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess, I mean, if you look at romantic interest and also life partner interest as a friendship as well, then this would apply. If
Yeah.
you separate the two, I guess things might be a little different, sound a little different, but it's kind of interesting stuff. There was one more quote about actually
But you found it?
two more quotes about the friendship of excellence and having to do with what it is. I'm like covering my face with the notebook. But it was the pleasure coming from the pleasure coming from him merely as being himself is the pleasure of friendship, for he loves the object as himself and not for being someone else. So that's for who they are, and that's it. And then kind of the last one that I really liked. I liked this one. It's the shortest one. Is friendship is equality. And true friends, a single soul. Yeah.
Deep.
Yeah. This is some real philosophy.
True friends, a single soul.